That's all good though. You gotta stand up yourself. What's up? Yeah. Grand charge, orbit around my halo space. Halo space. Little baby crumbs and potato flakes. Junkyard food needs 808s. Yeah, how y'all doing out there? How y'all doing out there? Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. This is Supreme Cotton 911, and you know who that is on the other end. Tell them who you are, dog.
It's your boy Nonsense Nap.
All right. This is Beardown Central, but as you know, we talk about other things within our broadcast. So tonight we're going to talk about our baby Bulls versus those Golden State Warriors. So, hey, Nap, go ahead and kick it off and tell me what you thought about tonight's game, man.
I thought it was a good game, man. First quarter, they definitely brought it, dropping that young 40 points in the first, and then, kind of slowed down a little bit in the second. But overall, very good game. First half, they did, again, a very good job. But overall, very good game. Just fourth quarter, they gotta keep that effort going, and they can't die down in that third, man. They got to pick it up. But I liked what I saw out there.
I like what I saw, I expected them young guys to compete, which they did. I've been waiting for this game all year, all week. We lost to them before, we lost to them again tonight. But I was just really looking for effort, and I was looking for focus, and I was looking for intensity. And they did bring the effort and intensity the first half, but man, that second half was a total meltdown. I felt like I didn't expect Justin Holiday to miss so many shots tonight. I actually thought he was going to be on his A game. He was going to make his shots like he's been making all year, and he totally disappeared. And he shrunk under the big lights, man. What'd you think?
Justin, he wasn't present tonight. He did take the shots though. That's one thing I did appreciate. But at the same time, when you see it's not falling, as a hooper, man, with that mindset, you gotta take that ball. You gotta drive inside, or at least if you don't feel comfortable shooting it, if the touch ain't yours, at least drive and kick. But people know you've been shooting all night, so they're either gonna let you shoot and miss, or they may get a hand in the face. So if you get the guy in the air, you gotta take that advantage and drive and kick. Then at that point, or at least drive and just try to go for a layup. But he was settling for shots, and that was the thing.
Yeah, because normally as a basketball player myself, and playground legend, Navy legend, you know what I mean. When that shot's not falling, at least after 2 shots I missed in a row, that third one I missed, hey, I'm passing the ball, getting another guy open, getting another guy shot. Well, I'm going to the lane, like you said. I'm gonna penetrate, kicking pass and shoot. Because if my shot's not falling, me passing that ball is going to make me get my own rhythm. Maybe I need to run around the court. Maybe I need to run around, the perimeter while I'm passing this ball and get into a better rhythm.
Yep, exactly. Because it was stagnant for him out there tonight, and the same with Valentine. He had a couple good shots, couple in the first half and a couple late in the third and the fourth. But even then, him, he was he ran towards the basket, he had the middle wide open, and then he was kind of like jogging. And the guy looking to give him the ball, then he finally turns. It's like, come on, man. Like when you have that lane, you got to take it. Look for the ball. Be ready. Hands up. Catch. Be ready to shoot. He put the ball on the floor. They tell bigs, everybody all the time. As soon as you get that ball, put it straight up. You don't bring that ball down to the floor. Yeah,
And we had a mismatch all down low all day. And I remember talking to you earlier. You were saying, we need to establish post. But we were getting production from Rolo down there like all night. But it just came down to, it's a miss and make league, and the guys got to make shots because Holiday was getting his shots, Valentine was getting his shots, Dunn was getting his shots, and they were like daring those young guys to shoot. I think when you as a shooter or a basketball player, I think when you start seeing their ball not go in, I think for these young guys at this point, I think their confidence level, it went down a few notches tonight. But I don't think that going forward, that it'll be a detriment to their growth or their development. I just think that they need to be more diverse if their shot's not falling, especially from Justin Holiday. If you're going to be the starting 2 or the starting 3?
2, I think.
Okay, he needs to be a little bit more aggressive other than just shooting the ball. We don't want you to become J.R. Smith, the shooter. We want you to be young J.R. that was going to the rack dunking on people. I think the worst thing that J.R. did was become a shooter. So hopefully, Justin Holiday, he becomes a slasher more than what he's been doing tonight. I hope he grew tonight from this night. tonight that you think the Bulls can grow from? I saw a couple of things too.
Well, starting with the first quarter. First off, just want to kind of say prayers, obviously, to Dunn and Bell. With their injuries. But starting off, I like the intensity. Like you said, I like the fact that them bringing out a lot of passion, a lot of effort, attacking the basket, moving the ball around a lot, playing good defense, talking. Got a lot of steals. A lot of steals from both Dunn, Markkanen, Lopez, and Mirotic as well. So I like seeing that as far as like the defense really applying an easy offense. They just gotta have that moderation, transitioning into the second and then definitely coming out in the half. But the good things I take away from it, nice pick and rolls with Dunn and Lopez. They got to develop that a little bit better with Levine. But Levine came in, had a couple nice shots, a couple drives to the lane, a couple kicks as well. So I like the movement. I like the ball movement. I like the speed and flow of the game. At times, they just got to get a little bit better control.
Yeah, I think they need to get a little bit more under control because Dunn, he's out there setting the tone. And as you know, like I call Dunn, he's a good, bad basketball player. I know he's a young guy, but he has habits where he has to develop better decision making. And tonight was the epitome of decision making when he went in for a dunk, dunked it, and knocked his own teeth out. He has to get it under control. He has to get it under control because the team follows his lead because you distribute the ball to other people. So he has to, learn how to calm down because he can be really good and he can be really bad. And it can all happen in one quarter. I just don't think he's consistent enough right now to be in the position that he's in. Not saying to put him to the bench, but I think Hoiberg really needs to get that in his brain. Like, look, kid, you are the protagonist for this offense. And you have to learn how to slow this ball down and learn how to keep his energy. He needs to learn how to balance out his energy because sometimes he's really, really hyper and he makes bad decisions when he needs to learn how to calm down and let the game come to him. I don't think the game comes to him yet, but he needs to understand that the game got to come to you as a point guard. Be aggressive, but playing the flow.
Yep, I completely agree because it was a couple shots that he took. Granted, he did have an open space for him. They was giving him the shot, and it's kind of like you said, I think how it was for Holiday and Dunn. Holiday kind of shied off like that. The shots not dropping kind of affected him a little bit more than it did for Dunn because Dunn still was just continuously playing. It was like one of those, shot didn't miss. All right, whatever. Next play. You know what I'm saying? Type thing. Like, all right, we back down court and coming back down, take that same shot. I'm going to make it this time. But like you said, the flow of the game, that shot that he missed before, as opposed to pulling up and taking that shot, he can kind of pump fake. That's going to bring the defender up and then drive the lane. As soon as he pulls, that's going to bring the center up or the forward. Then he can drive and dish. Right. Mirotic could be crashing. Lopez is there. Then that's an easy two. But like you said, it's all about the flow of the game. Just being able to pick up, see things, and see who's cutting, who's slashing, where defenders are on the court. I expect a lot out of him. Just because of the position he's in, and I like the when we talked before how you related him to Rondo. I definitely can see it a lot more now. With just watching a little bit in the progression. But with him being out, do you think Jerian Grant or Cameron Payne would be the guy to go to?
I'm gonna go with Grant. I think Grant has a little bit better jump shot to him, like a way better jumper. Okay. It's not even close. I just think Grant has the ability to break down a defender better and get his shot off better than Dunn, but only because Grant is mostly a scorer anyway. But he can run the point, but I think he's more of a scorer. So if we looking at scoring point guard, I have no problem with Grant starting. I don't think we're going to lose any production. Maybe a little bit less assists. I think he competes on the defensive end, but I don't think it'd be that many assists. I think it'd be just as many points, but I don't think it'll be that much different for production. And that's the beautiful thing about this Bulls team is that we're loaded pretty much on talent from like the starting five to the bench. Bobby Portis, Mirotic, Grant, Paul Zipser, and Valentine. I just think we loaded. I just think it comes down to execution and making shots. Because our bench kept us in the game in that first half. They were doing their thing. Wobble came in still at the end of the first half. You know what I mean? Bobby Porter was hitting shots. Mirich just went crazy tonight. So I just think it comes down to execution. I think once we become a more well-rounded team, we play more games. I don't see Justin Holiday when we do and will enter the playoffs this year. We're going to make the playoffs. I'm saying that right now. So let's get ready to talk about that in a few more minutes. So like I'm calling right now. We're going to revisit this podcast. But I don't think they missed those same shots going down the road. It's just that it's still before the All-Star break. Guys are still getting, their rhythm. People are still getting used to playing with Levine. Levine's still getting his feet up under him. But when it comes down to making shots, I kind of got an issue with that. Drive and kick, man. If it's not working for you, pass the ball. Because those are precious, precious possessions in that moment because we're playing against Golden State tonight. Those guys are the king of possessions. They don't waste not one possession. Every possession they make is an assist or a shot. It's just pretty much how it's going to go. It's just like, hey, just get ready to get the ball out of the net. So I just hope the Bulls looked at them like, hey, this is how we need to be on offense. We need to be just as efficient going forward because I see the Bulls as a young Warriors team. It's pretty much the same makeup. What do you think about that? You think they got some of the same similarities with, Markin being the tall 7-footer? That's Durant. We got Levine. He could be Clay. Then we got, what I mean? We got some pieces that's kind of similar to that team. What you think about that?
I honestly thought the same thing when I was watching the game. I'm like, I really feel like the Bulls, as far as like length and height, have a better chance matchup-wise against other NBA teams. The only other comparison, potentially like the Timberwolves and Celtics, just because of length and depth they have. But the length and size, definitely the Timberwolves and Bulls. Bulls, like you said, marketing, being like that, Kevin Durant, Zach LaVine. I can't put him on that Clay yet. I'll probably put him more of a good better Sean Livingston. I'll say that.
His own shot though. He can get his own shot though.
He can't create his own shot. He can't create his oon shot, and I do appreciate that. But
he's not Clay.
No, no, not yet. Not yet. But baby,
he hit those 3 threes in a row tonight. I was just like, you know what? I'm not about to watch the rest of this game. I'm just not going to watch this game because it looks like practice now, and it's starting to look like practice. It's starting to look like practice.
I mean, as soon as the commentators said it, like we gotta watch for Clay. He hit that shot. Then came back down. I'm like, stay on him. Came around the pick, hit that shot. Stay on him. Came around again. Just shot. I'm like, all right. And then you got a timeout, obviously from Hoiberg, because once they hit those threes, it's just like you're stretching the game out at this point. And then Warriors coming out the half, they lead the league as far as like in third quarter scoring. I believe like 30 points. 30 points. Going in. So, I mean, if the Bulls already know this information, keep your hands up. Don't keep, hands up, hand down, man down. That's the golden rule in that, So, obviously, keep your hands up, keep talking, keep feet moving. Can't go under them screens with these Warriors guys. You give them any type of space, especially with Clay and Curry, it's a wrap. KD is already tall as is, so that's a height advantage, across everybody in the league, but at least try to put some type of presence in the face. So you're just constantly talking, constantly getting around those screens. And I feel like we could do a better job the next time we play these guys. Hopefully it'll be championship. That's just wishful thinking. But, if we keep rolling, like you said, going to the playoffs, anything can happen. So see red.
Red all day, man. Like I said, I was expecting us to pretty much contend with them, which I predicted, right? We can compete. We just lost a few points. But I expected the only person that we probably will have a problem with, because I've seen this young Bulls team lock up on defense, was KD. I was like, you know what? KD's going to get here. Because you told me, you was like, I'm a double team. I was like, man, I'll just let KD get 50. We're not double teaming this dude. He was like, no. I was like, man, I'm not double teaming him. He can get whatever he wants. But all these other two, as far as Clay and Steph, I'm locking you guys down. My guys are on you all night. And that's
they did it.
Yeah, go ahead.
My bad. I was going to say they did a good job on KD tonight. 6 for 15, 0 for 5 on 3-point. Granted, he did do 8 and 7 on boards and assists, 8 boards, 7 assists. No problem, man. And then 19 points overall in 35 minutes. So, I mean, that's, they did a good job, like you said.
Yeah, that's a good thing, yeah.
like you said, with Curry and Thompson, 35 minutes with Curry, 10 of 18 shooting, 6 of 11 from 3, 9 boards, 4 assists, 30 points. So
wow,
it's
that's efficient. That's efficient.
know,
And I'm pretty sure Clay had his 22 points, 24 points, or something crazy like that.
Overall 38, 7 of 13 from 3, 12 of 22 from the field. Yep, 38. So them 3 was pretty much the predominant scores for the whole team. Like that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and we have to, it's just like anybody else. You have to pick your poison with this team. Nobody has a Clay and a Steph and a KD. Like, that's just too much. But my Bulls competed tonight, man. That was the only thing that I really wanted. I thought we would have won only because I thought Hoiberg would have just made those guys or practice the guy. Let's just stay on Klay Thompson's hip, But they're the champs, man. They're gonna get all the whistles. They're gonna get all the calls. Little taps here and there. They're just gonna get those calls, and I think that kind of set the tone for the Bulls too, because there was a lot of calls that I saw that wasn't really fouls to me. They were little ticky-tack fouls. And that could kind of kill your rhythm as a player because you start thinking about fouls and getting on that bench instead of just playing through the whistle.
Yeah. David West was a big factor coming into the game. A lot of times coming into the second half or the first half, second quarter, he kind of brought the game a little bit closer to bring close down 3. And then that third quarter, that kind of opened it up a little bit. I mean, he was only 2 for 5, but those 6 points kind of did open the game up a little bit more. But with I was looking at the Bulls stats. Obviously, Mirotic did his thing, 9 of 13 from shooting, 4 of 7 from the 3, 24 points. Mm-hmm. I think we just need more progression from – our bench is good, no doubt. Nwaba did a good job, 3 of 5, 8 points, but Jerian Grant was 1 for 4. Mm. And then, Valentine was 3 of 10. So, he hit 1-3, 1 of 4 from there and 10 points. So that's good, but 10 shots, we got to make that up. Portis was 6 of 10 with his 12. 4 boards, 4 assists. We're not with the bigs. We're not crashing the paint enough for me.
Yeah, I saw that tonight too. I didn't see a lot of crashing the paint. I saw a lot of Robin Lopez by himself, and I think that going forward, I hope Hoiberg makes the decision to start putting Portis and Lopez in that lineup together with some of these teams coming down the stretch to get those rebounds and make that paint down there pretty much unstoppable because. Lopez needs some help down there in that block with those rebounds. We're going to get going forward.
We only got 2 centers with Felicio and Lopez, and I liked Felicio the times I saw him last year, just the glimpses, because he showed potential. Mm-hmm. But I would say 2016 season, but with 2017, seeing him early, and then obviously this year, he hasn't really been. It's like it's a disconnect with the communication when he's in the game.
Felicio, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He didn't play tonight. Neither did Paul Zips. I would have liked to see Paul Zips here tonight because I feel like he would have helped out a little bit more with crashing boards. He can streaky guy. He can kind of shoot threes a little bit unexpected, and he's a good defender as well. He played on KD last game. He did a pretty good job. But with Cristiano Felicio, he has to. It's needed more of him being a solidified big. And that'll give Robin enough time to rest. We won't have to really play more small ball. We can still have those big guys in and kind of feed the paint the way we need to. Because those are the shots. Those are the times we was taking shots. Because we didn't have, like, Lopez in. We got Marketing. We got Mirotic. These are outside. These are stretch 4 guys. We still need that solidified big in to feed, constantly. We didn't have that at the moment. So nobody was really.
I think it's going to be hard. I think it's going to be hard for Felicio to find minutes because the way the team is being structured, it's not really structured around a big like that. I don't think he can get in the game because you need production from that spot. So if we're 5 deep from the starting lineup, which everybody can score, then we're 5 deep from the ones that can score that we already have with that bench, and we put him in the game. That's lack of production, and that's what I've seen why he's not been able to play because. They took him down there to the G League, and he had to, because he doesn't. I don't think he fits that team. So I think he's trade bait at this point. What do you think about that? The trade line is passed, I think, and I think that we still might get a deal done. So what do you think about Mirotic staying? Because the name that they threw out there for Mirotic was Derek Favors. So what you think about that? Production from a 3-point spot, or what? What do you think?
See, when they said Derek Favors, I was excited, but not for Mirotic. Like if we could have traded potentially maybe Jerry and Grant and maybe like, you know, but I mean, it's like who on this team could we potentially else get rid of that would open up cap, along with the fact it, you know, benefit another team. So we would have to get rid of somebody good. You know, I didn't like the trade for us because with Mirotic, we needed to see more from him. Obviously, it just wasn't good for us. Overall, I just didn't see it working out for us. We had a system already set up as far as with Fred was kind of going, and with Derek, it didn't mesh. Now, if we could get again like a solidified big in a way, like maybe like a Greg Monroe, I'm fine with that. But he's, you know, getting up in age and everything else. So, but someone like that caliber, you know, I would have been okay with.
And then they was also putting Batum out there from Charlotte, which I'm totally on board with him.
I would have been fine with Nicholas Batum.
Oh, I'm totally fine with Nicholas Batum. That'd be a good swap from Mirotic for Batum. That'd be a perfect swap. I don't think we lose any production. If anything, we pick up probably better rebounding and better defense, and pretty much the same efficiency from the 3-point. That he can shoot threes as well. So maybe we pick up Batum, because if we can get Batum from Mirotic and maybe a second round pick, that'd be outstanding. I can put my stamp on that. I'll approve that. That'll push us over the top for the playoffs. See, to me,
because Nicholas he'll bring a little bit better defense as well too over Mirotic as well. I liked what he was doing out there in Portland, and then like you said, where he's at now, he's definitely progressed a lot better because he's able to shoot a little bit more. He's able to, you know, kind of create his own shot because, you know, where in Portland, you had Damian and McCollum, and then Crabbe coming off the bench as well too. He was kind of getting overshadowed a lot. So, you know, that I can definitely see better potential as far as the trade with Mirotic and Batum than that Favors deal. But we in my opinion, we definitely need to get like a big man to help out Robin Lopez, man, because he can't.
Yeah, he needs some help down there. That's what I'm saying. Is we need just a guy that could just rebound with him, and we got to see how we can get somebody off that bench, whether it's Portis or somebody to split up some minutes to get him help on those boards, because we're going to get killed going down, especially in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Especially in the playoffs, we're going to get killed with him just being there by himself. You know, he could hold his own down there playing offense and getting his hook shot going, him spinning around, getting that little hook shot going, and a little 10-foot, 8-foot jump shot, 12-foot shot, free throw line. He could do that, but when it comes to crashing those boards, man, we get killed a lot on those boards.
Yeah, you're right. We definitely do, and that's the problem. I feel like because you got 3 guys down there in Warriors jerseys, and then you just got one guy marketing. Because he had 8 boards for the Bulls, so that was high.
Yeah, what his production tonight was not what is it should. He was 4 for 12, 2 for 7 from 3, 11 points in 29 minutes. 2 assists,
definitely
0 steals. But
he was kind of relying on a lot of shots too. We needed him to go more inside, you know, attack the paint, do a little bit more as far as like post work. I feel like that would have been better if you get the Warriors in foul trouble, especially Curry and Clay. It takes. You take control of the game. That forces them to create more shots and take more shots. Because where we started to see, they didn't take a lot of shots the first half, but I think they only wound up taking 84 altogether. And the Bulls had took around 100. And percentage-wise, you know, it wasn't the best on our end.
I saw a lot of bricks getting thrown up there, a lot of rocks. A lot of stones get thrown off the rim. It was like nobody had the heart to attack, because Golden State is not known for a rim protector. Curry, I don't care what how good he's been as a defender this year. He is not Shaquille O'Neal. He is not Greg Monroe. He is not Alonzo Mourning. He is not Dikembe Mutombo. He is not any of those guys that's down there protecting that paint. He's not even Hassan Whiteside. So if I'm assistant coach and I'm in that meeting with Fred Hoiberg, I'm like, hey, we should attack tonight. They have no 7-footers down there. We didn't attack. He has to learn how to develop his team to attack at certain parts of the game. Hopefully when they go to practice this week or a couple days, hey, let's practice going to the rack. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let us practice going to the rack, get these easy free throws, get these easy shots, and learn from the Warriors tonight, because that's what the Warriors did. You're going to foul us. We're gonna initiate contact, get in our rhythm with these free throws, which at the same time you're pretty much not wasting any energy. Now they see the ball going to hoop a few times through the free throw line. Now they're ready to shoot. Now they're ready to play. I just think that going forward, that needs to be his philosophy for these shooters he has. Drive to the paint a little bit. Get a couple of free throws. Get a couple of buckets. Get a couple of shots. Get closer to the rim. Get these guys in foul trouble, because you're going to lose against a team like that every night. Yep. If you're not attacking and getting free throws and getting guys in foul trouble, to me.
No, I agree with you. It's the same kind of like how it was. I look at the Warriors kind of like the Spurs. Take a line from Stephen A. Smith. He kind of said, like, if you rate a team 1 to 10, Spurs kind of come out of like an 8 every game. And honestly, for the Warriors, I put them at like maybe an 8.5, 8.7. If you're not on that level every game, shot for shot, energy coming out, just intensity, attacking the basket, putting pressure, just adding defense to something, like just to add something to essentially oppose the other team. If you're not at that level every time you step on that court with them, you're going to lose that game. I don't care how close it is. It could be Cavs, LeBron out there playing. If you're not matching, you're going to lose that game every time. And it's like you said, it's just that hard to pair up with these guys when you got to pick your poison. All right, well, KD get off 50, so he got 50, but we shut down Clay, but Curry still dropped 30. So that's at least 80 points from 2 people. Right. So it's like
from David West with his 9 points, 11 points. Sean, so that production is made up through their bench, which is great. They pretty much have the most stacked team, I think, offensively I've ever seen. Just talking about them for a second, I think that team these past few years, I think that Steve Kerr was the perfect coach to coach these guys, because he had the experience of playing with Michael Jordan. Okay, I got my killer and I got my small forward. I need a killer and I need a small forward. Then he goes to San Antonio and he learns how to play with Tim Duncan and Manu Ginobili and those guys. So he pretty much put all that experience and knowledge together and pretty much created the Warriors. But I'm not going to give him all the credit, because, that was pretty much Mark Jackson's team. He drafted a lot of those guys. But you know what I'm saying? He still has to get credit for that, putting this team together.
Yeah, that's one thing I definitely say. Mark Jackson pretty much gets no credit for that team that he did put together, draft, everything. And when he got released, I was honestly hoping and praying. I'm like, please come to the Bulls. Like, right? We need you here, But I like what Fred's doing. I can't go in the past with him, but I like what Fred's doing. But Mark Jackson definitely needs credit. I know Kerr's definitely said it before, but media-wise, it hasn't really been respected enough as far as like Mark Jackson being essentially recognized for building that Warriors team. And that kind of saddens me a little bit. But.
Yeah, because I don't think he ever even got like maybe they did give him like a ceremonial championship ring like the first time. I mean, maybe I don't remember him getting one. I just think he really deserved more recognition. Definitely a championship ring. That's just like when what's that coach name from the Raiders? John Gruden went down there to Tampa Bay and pretty much won the Super Bowl from Tony Dungy's team. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, give this man a little credit. Like, oh my goodness, let him introduce him at the ring ceremony at least. Goodness gracious, man. But yeah, man, this Bulls team tonight, man, they performed their butt off. I really appreciate it. But me, us being just, we want our teams to win, so we want execution. Me and you are pretty much very detail-oriented people, so we see everything. We see everything wrong, everything that could have went right. So those things tonight happened, and I think tomorrow they play the Hawks tomorrow. I think we win that game. I think it's 82 games in the season, so it's not a big deal. I just don't want us to get blown out. I wanted to show the Bulls to show on a national TV level, in the NBA amongst their peers, like, hey, we're a few pieces away, and we can compete with anybody in this league right now. We're supposed to be tanking, getting a draft pick, and we're not tanking anything. We're playing. So I just want that culture to continue. So tonight I'm satisfied with the L. They said there's no moral victories, but I think for a young team, I think that there are those losses that you can grow from better than a win sometimes.
Yeah. Most definitely. Like I agree with you. Definitely satisfied with the way they played tonight. Just as far as just to tweak some things, Fred's got to have them come out a lot stronger than third. I think we're 23rd or 24th in the league as far as third quarter scoring, and then we bump up to 8th, right behind the Warriors actually in fourth quarter scoring. So if you have that, like if they drop in 30 and we're putting up I think 23 as an average in the third, if we had to we only had 18 and 19 in third. If we had to put up
Holiday, man, and that's what I'm saying. Like his production was not there tonight. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yep. No, I agree with you. I mean, that's the thing. Like, it was a lot of settled shots that quarter. It was just constant shots, and that's the rotation at this point. If you see you guys just essentially still just shooting, and the other opposing team they shoot, but they scoring. All right, timeouts. Now adjust the scheme of things. Okay, you can still play with the same personnel. You don't have to go big if they go in small ball, but let's move it inside. Let's have them foul. Let's try to do pick and rolls with the small guys and pick and pop as opposed to pick and roll then at this point if you want to keep shooting. But we need guys then to essentially rush the paint, crash the boards here at this point. So this way we can give rebounds, second chance points. If you don't have to lay up, kick it out. We got to refresh the shot clock and then go from there. That takes time away from them to create momentum, to essentially establish the game and keep rolling, because that's what it was for the Warriors. Once they get in the track meet and going, you can't run with the Warriors.
Yeah, you cannot. Yeah, you can't play that track meet game with them guys, and I think that's a part of this Bulls identity that we kind of are the Warriors, but we're not. And I think going forward, we can't play that game with them. We'll lose every time. We have a 2-time MVP, an anonymous MVP. Two of the greatest shooters of our all time. No, 3 of the greatest shooters all time. One of them is 7 feet tall, man. So that's not a game you want to play. Those guys, that's playing their game. That's why nobody can compete with them at that. Hey, we're going to go 100 miles an hour. And then, when you play basketball, as when you're a shooter, you don't even run that much. You just run to the wing. If you're a shooter, you run in the wing, couple of steps, you letting that ball go. You letting it go. So those guys have a ton of energy, and if you're not as efficient with them as shooting those 3-pointers as an opposing team, you have to have your own identity. Your meat and gravy plays, your bread and butter plays, or the player or a couple of players that can get you that same production, but not from shooting threes, because you're not the Golden State Warriors, man. You're just not.
Exactly. I apologize. I said they scored 17, 18. They scored 12 in the third. So they had 40 in the first.
Oh wow.
Yeah. 26 in the second, 12 in the third, and then they brought it back with 34 in the fourth. And again, with us right behind the Warriors in fourth quarter scoring, you have to apply that pressure in the third. You can't come out stagnant. You can't. So that would be like my only takeaway from this game as far as like the negative, making sure that they come out as fresh as they can. Obviously, with that same energy as they did in the first, not dragging, not settling for shots, because that's going to take away your legs. Now you got that bounce back in the fourth quarter, but it's like you kind of you dragging. I think Warriors, they set the tone in the first and the third, and then they cruise for the second and the fourth. And
yeah, I saw that.
They're able to do that, and it kind of shows. It dropped 38 in the first, 25 in the second, 32 in the third, and then 24 in the fourth. So you got good average numbers throughout the whole game. And again, from good shooting, 50% from the field. From 3-point, I think they had almost 40%, 39, 13 for 33. So overall, you're getting good numbers, you're getting good scoring, you're taking good shots. But like you said, for the Bulls, we're there as far as physique, in the sense of like height and length and depth. We kind of match up very well against them. But being able to communicate, talk, take the right shots, let the game come to us, we're just not at that point just yet. But we definitely gonna grow and get there. But I did have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
I know you said you think the Hawks will beat the Hawks, but what score you got? What you think gonna happen?
I think we beat the Hawks 112 to 87.
112 to 87.
What you got?
Right. Put it at. I'll go there. I'll go about 110, 115.
Right.
Probably no, you know what? Because they play on Saturday. What's the day? Wednesday. That gives them time to rest. Yeah, I'll probably say 110 to 115 to about 85 to 90 for the Hawks.
Yeah, that sounds right. I just think those guys, the Bulls, I don't think the Atlanta Hawks got anything. They don't have nothing for that team. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I might not even watch it, but I don't even think I'm going to watch it. But I just know those guys going to come off firing all centers, man. So, all right. This was good. This was good. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up right here. This has been more than fun. This has been a great night. This has been a fun night from watching the Bulls tonight. And I expect nothing better. This is Supreme Kai 911. You know his name is
Nonsense Nap.
All right. Y'all heard it here first. This is Beardown Central, and this podcast is Baby Bulls versus the Warriors. You guys have a good night. Peace.
Have a good one. Peace.
Later.
One in the clouds, the other up under it, running around. I'm like the one that was touching the ground. I'm like the one cause it doesn't come down. I'm like the other that's under the town. They jump in the drown.